Hello there. Greetings on this Tuesday, April 28th. This week I had fully planned to be on an annual spiritual retreat. Typically I go once a year to either the Abbey of Gethsemane in Kentucky for that week, or I go to my brother's cabin in upstate New York in the Adirondacks. They are both places that deliver the truth of the 23rd Psalm. You know, the psalm that speaks of the Good Shepherd and that speaks of places of rest and restoration. Well, I had planned to be at the cabin this week and would have been there even right now. I would have been enjoying some time of isolation. Well, I didn't go. I stayed here and heeded the governor's guidance, and I have plenty of isolation, as likely you do too, but I don't have the benefits of a cabin in the Adirondacks overlooking Lake Paradox. Stay at home, our government has instructed. Now, early on, this stay-at-home order that we've been under, I think most of us engage that order with a sense of goodwill and of intention to love our neighbor as ourselves, and we were feeling that, well, we can do this. But now, after 5 weeks of this already, we're maybe thinking, I don't know if we can really do this much more or how much more, because a measure of isolation fatigue has begun to set in, and we can begin to feel a little impatient with the prospect of only having an eventual gradual return to our previous way of life. And that's a bit what I've been wondering about. We yearn to get back to normal, or what we mean is to get back to the way of life that we had before all this got started. But that maybe some of that we'd be okay with letting go of. I mean, some of what we think of as normal meant that we were overcommitted and generally functioning with a sense of ongoing ennui and depletion and exhaustion, always running on empty and making pledges to our family that, well, we'd make it up to them later. But some of what we normalized and internalized was that that's just how life is. But in this prolonged interruption of our previous normalcy, we might be wondering, what are we discovering along the way as a benefit? Now, I know that Fremont is a long way from any ocean or any tidal body of water, and this tank is not tidal, of course, but it does have me thinking of this nautical thought. Sometimes when the tide goes out, we might miss all the adrenaline of the crashing waves of the high tide, but when the tide goes out and the ocean recedes from view, you can discover great peaceful tidal pools that are left behind. So what have you discovered now that the adrenaline of our lives has receded? Some tell me they're getting more sleep. Others are saying they're reading books that they had long intended to read, and others are reading more books to their children. Closets, basements, garages getting cleaned out, home and yard projects getting tended to, hobbies being engaged, and families enjoying cooking meals together and doing projects together, playing games together, writing cards and letters. Just imagine. But in time, things will be returning. And the tide of adrenaline will be coming back in. But maybe this is an opportunity for a restart, for a rebooting of our lives and schedules, not just to return to what they were, but to be reconstructed into what we want them to be. Not an automatic resumption of life as it was, but a reformation, a reformation of lives as we want them to be. What do you want to keep from now when things resume? As pastor, here's one that brings me cheer. For example, families, busy families with so many activities and commitments and events and school and sports and jobs and work and meetings and commitments. Families They could hardly ever find the time that their schedules would allow them to sit down to have dinner together are doing so. Sitting, eating at the table together. And this, doing devotions, family devotions together at the table, a basic spiritual formation of families and spiritual building. So, what will it take for whatever blessings you are realizing in these troublesome days? What will it take for these blessings to continue when things resume? Well, this Sunday is recognized around the world as the Good Shepherd Sunday. And maybe you want to take some time this week to reread the 23rd Psalm, maybe John chapter 10, and abide for a little bit with the compelling image of the risen Jesus Christ as our Good Shepherd. Oh, we really need this now, I think. That truly the Lord is our shepherd, even in the valley of the shadow of disease and death. That truly the Lord still leads us beside still waters, even surprisingly when the waters of adrenaline are poised to return. Truly the Lord sets a table for us. Sets a table for us, maybe in the dining room, in the family room, in the kitchen, and also at his table, the communion table. So this week, here we are. Friends of Jesus Christ, may the peace of Christ be within your walls and within your hearts. And we'll speak again soon.